Going on YouTube, my family and my friends. Back today with another video. I want to say in the video, I'm going live. I'm live. Here we go. I'll set it up right here like that. Alright, so y'all can see me. Oh man. Hotline. Alright, so what I want to talk about today is talk a little bit about myself, let y'all know how I got to where I am today, and pretty much how my journey started. So, I've always been a fan of Rhinestone apparel. I've always been ever since the first shirt I saw. I think the first shirt I saw probably had like praying hands, hotline. All right, so the first shirt I think I saw in the stores was like some praying hands, and they were real big going across the shirt. I was like, man, that's live. Had to get it. And then I guess on my birthday, special occasions, special events, I would purchase these 100, probably sometimes $200 shirts. There was multiple brands, from Royalty to Robin Jeans to Affliction to Saint Symphony, multiple brands. What was one? I should have wrote them down. That way I can glance over and look at them and be like, another brand, Hudson. You might be familiar with Hudson. Now, Hudson wasn't necessarily on the higher end, but they still made rhinestone shirts that you can find at your local department store. Let's see, who else? Philip Plein. Man, got hip to Philip Plein recently. So now I'm a fan of rhinestone shirts. I will buy them, every once when I could afford them. You know what I mean? So I lost a job back in 2013. I had a little bit of money saved up, and me and my ex-wife was like, let's take a vacation. So we take a vacation down to Florida. When we're in Florida, I'm like, oh, I want to grab a shirt from here. I want to grab a rhinestone shirt from here. So I type in Royalty, because that was the brand that I was most infatuated with at the time. Type Royalty into my GPS, and a location pops up. Oh, I'm like, yeah, they got a Royalty store here. I drive to the location, and unbeknownst to me, it was not a retail location. It was just a warehouse. Warehouse where they pretty much produced or made the clothing. So I walk into the warehouse, naively, like knowing it's a warehouse, knowing this is not the retail location. I walk in there. As soon as I walk in, no one was in the room that I walked into, and I started looking around. I started seeing machines. I started seeing. I didn't even know what type of machines they were. I just know I started seeing machines. I started seeing shirts, and I'm like, guy walks out from the other room, and he's like, "How can I help you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm trying to buy some shirts." And he was like, "Yes, this isn't the retail store. We don't sell shirts here. If you want to buy the shirts, you got to go to a store at the mall. We don't have a retail store. You just have to go into one of the urban hip hop stores in the mall." And he directed me to which mall to go to, and I left. Now, when I walk out the door, my mind starts turning. Oh man, they making all of these shirts right here? Like, oh, what type of machine was that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, how did they do it? Like, so the rest of my trip, I started research. I started Googling how to make rhinestone shirts. How to make rhinestone shirts. How to make rhinestone shirts. I came across multiple different methods, from the Sierra. It's called Sierra something. They had wait a minute. Let's see here. All right, because I had wrote it down, y'all. Well, I didn't write it down. I had made a post. So it's called Hot Fix Error from Sierra. You got Silhouette Studio, the business edition. What else? They got Digital Art Solutions, Stone Pencil. Let's see here. A program called ACS Studio from Aki Graphics. They got another one called Roland Arware Rhinestone System. And these were all rhinestone systems that I was looking up long before I got started. You know, my research probably took me 6 months before I took the leap, you know. So here go another one. OO Bling Pro Rhinestone Design Software, you know. iDesign R. They got another one called Stone Cut Software from DAS. Like, and let's see. Copy. See if can I. Yeah, here it is. I'll add the link. Here's the link to that. The live event is over. Chat is no longer available. Oh, I'm tripping. I'm on my laptop, on my phone, doing both. So I can't. All right, I see. I was trying to. Can I do it like that? I'll add the link later after the video is finished to where I actually created and did a long post naming each one, and I provide a link to each software. So as I'm checking out all of this software, now. Mind you, I've tried to learn Photoshop. I got an iPad, and I'm more proficient in Photoshop on my iPad than I am at Photoshop on the desktop. You know, Photoshop on the desktop, I guess everyone wants to open up Photoshop for the very, very first time, you know what I mean? And they want to create something magical, but that's not how it happens. Like, you know what I mean? What's going on, Atlantis? But everybody want to pretty much open up Photoshop and they want to create beautiful works of art, you know, day one, you know? And I think a lot of people may get frustrated because there is a lot of stuff to learn, you know what I mean? There is certain ways to go about doing things that makes your workflow easy, that makes you pretty much understand it. But if you don't understand the tools of a software, then how can you create anything? You know what I mean? So I stumbled across this video back in the early days, Matt Vassallo and the Rhinestone World. Now, Matt Vassallo, when I first stumbled across him, he had a video. He was going live every day. He was pretty much going live every day, and he had this software that he was showing people how to use. He was showing people how to use this software and how to do rhinestone designs. That was, what, 7, 8 years ago? They had just came out with the Rhinestone Wizard, and yeah, I was one of those people on his live whenever he would go live, and I would pretty much watch him use this software. So out of all the other softwares that I had seen and that I had researched, there was none of them were doing like daily webinars and daily trainings to help people understand the program. So they do offer a free trial of the software, but it's not standalone software. It's a plug-in that you use for CorelDraw. So when I went to go look up CorelDraw was at the time like $5.99. Let me go to the site right now, CorelDraw.com. Now, CorelDraw is similar to Photoshop. It's similar to Adobe Illustrator. Similar to Affinity. It's a design software that basically you can design vector, illustration, photo editing, typography, all of that stuff, right? And it also comes with its own picture editor or Corel color draws, which is so CorelDraw altogether. Its graphic suite is like if you had Photoshop and Illustrator, in one, if you ask me. All right. So I'm watching Matt Vassallo work in this software. I go to look it up. It was $5.99. Right now they have it CorelDraw 2021 is $249 per year. So they basically it's $20.75 a month if you want to go the subscription route, or if you want to buy it outright, it's $499. Now a lot of people are not willing to pay $499, and then hold on, wait a minute, that's just for Corel. So when you go to the Rhinestone world, and you go to their section of software, their TRW Design Wizards Pro software is $569 by itself. So $499 and then $569, pretty much. You're looking at $1,100. You know what I mean? That's $1,100 before you even make your first Rhinestone shirt. But right now, the Rhinestone world has both of them as a bundle for $769. Or like I mentioned before, you can do the $20.75 a month for Corel, and then the Rhinestone Wizard, they have a free trial. They both have free trials. So I think the free trial, let me see, I'm trying to look here. Okay, they got a 30-day trial for the Rhinestone Wizard. But CorelDraw's trial is only for 15 days. So you can try Corel for 15 days, try the Rhinestone Wizard for 30 days, and these are trials, right? So my best advice to you is go ahead and get both softwares. If you can afford it, buy the softwares at $769, because I paid close to $1,200 for mine. You know what I mean? I paid close to $1,200 for the software, and that was 7-8 years ago. So I've been using this software every day for roughly 7 to 8 years. There's some months I quit. I was like, man, I'd rather just work. When I get off of work, I don't want to do shirts. I don't want to work on any graphics, So it's been a off and on love-hate relationship between me and CorelDraw for at least 7-8 years now, right? But what I can tell you is that if you're truly vested in the software and you truly want to learn anything, become proficient at that software. I'm sure if I would have took more time with Photoshop, I'm sure if I was using Photoshop every day for 7 to 8 years, I would get good at it and be able to create the works of art that I have in my brain, like I do with Corel. I create wonderful works of art in Corel using everything that I've learned every day that I've learned it. So every day when I would go into CorelDraw, I would go to YouTube and I would look for a video to help me understand more, to learn more. Oh, how can I do this? and I would type into YouTube how to cut objects through other objects, like to give it the loop around effect or whatever. Like you learn stuff and you apply it to what you've learned, and you create items with it. I just got a sublimation printer about a year ago. My sublimation printer, I ain't know nothing about sublimation when I first started. I it seemed so confusing before you actually press your first shirt. It just seems like, for real, man. I hope I ain't just buy all of this for nothing. I hope I can get it right. I hope I can do it right. And your first shirt might not be perfect or whatever, but you don't give up. You continue to learn. You continue to grow your knowledge. So my advice to anyone out there that wants to learn from me is, I can't teach you Silhouette Studio if I don't have Silhouette Studio. I can't teach you Infinity. I can't teach you Photoshop. I can't teach you any of the other softwares. I'm not even interested in taking any time out to learn any other software, because I'm truly vested in my software and trying to be as proficient as possible in this one software. I see a lot of people, they'll go out there and I'll be like, what equipment do you got? And they'll start naming stuff. I got this Brother Scan and Cut. I got a Silhouette. I used to have a Cameo. And they'll just start naming off all of this equipment that they've had, and they've never been proficient at either one of them. They've never done anything to actually say that they are knowledgeable with certain hardware or software. So I'll be like, a lot of people ask me, how do you do the rhinestones? How do you do the rhinestones? I ask them what software they got, and they tell me they already have Silhouette. And I'm like, Silhouette does rhinestones. You know what I mean? Like, and they're like, well, I don't know how to do it. And I'm like, so you just bought the equipment or whatever. You never went through any training videos. You never Googled or YouTubed how to do rhinestones with my Silhouette, because it does rhinestones. And then you jump in my inbox and you're like, hey, I see all the rhinestone shirts. You're so good at it. Please teach me. And I'll be like, what software you got? And they're like, oh, I got Silhouette. And I'm like, okay. I don't have Silhouette. I have CorelDraw. So they're like, teach me how to do rhinestones. And I'm like, I cannot take time away from what I do on a daily basis to learn your software to teach you. Like, I'm like, if you already got the software, you should be learning and becoming proficient to where you could teach me, because I don't have the software. So it's a daily struggle with people who, like, you'll never learn how to use CorelDraw watching Photoshop videos. You know what I mean? They're two totally separate programs, and where the button layouts and what this button does or what that button does and how things are arranged on the screen are totally different. They're totally different. And some programs, they may say weld. In other programs, they may say group or combine or whatever. Like, it's different terminology for different softwares, and you won't understand it until you become proficient in one. Once you become proficient in one and you understand what this tool does and that tool does and this tool does and that tool does, then you'll be able to apply that knowledge to other similar softwares. Not totally different. Like, all right, so let me see if I can break it down real quick. When it comes to graphics software and design software, long before the computer and the software was invented, you had people that were still creating beautiful works of art, and they had They had all the tools that we have. Well, we got a little more tools in the digital world, but they had all the tools that they needed. They had a pen, a pencil, a brush. You know, some of them even had that one little contraption where you can point it down like this and then it spins around and creates a circle. Like, you know what I mean? They had stencils. They had oils. They had paints. You know what I mean? They had crayons. They had highlighters. They had a whole toolkit of different size pencils, different size brushes, you know what I mean? And they use all of those tools to create their art. Once you understand that concept of art in itself or just designing, then grab a program. Don't grab 9 programs and try to learn them all at once. Grab one program, just one, and become advanced in that software. You know, once you become advanced in one software and understand how to use the tools in that software, then you're able to open up another software, and without any tutorials, you're able to look around and say, oh, that go the pen. I know what that does because I've used the pen in this other program. Oh, there go the brushes. I know what those do. You know what I mean? Oh, there go the selection tool. Oh, there go the, so everyone is not going to be the same, but they are similar. Affinity, Photoshop, Illustrator, CorelDraw, they're all similar, but they run differently or work differently based on how it's set up, how the screen layout is, and your different preferences that you may have set up to choose how different objects work or with one another, or how different tools work. So once you understand one software and become proficient in that, then you'll be able to apply that knowledge to other software. So I'm definitely sure that I can pick up Silhouette Studio and learn that, in a week or two. You know what I mean? But that's not my main focus. My focus is becoming very proficient in CorelDraw to where, you guys can ask me questions and I'll be able to help and answer your questions. You know what I mean? So I would never have made it this far if it wasn't for Matt Vassallo and the Rhinestone world, and just being available. Just being available. They are one of those companies. Call them up. They'll help you. Even if they got a remote into your computer to help you with a design or whatever. They are that vested in their company. They have great customer service to the point to where I was calling them all the time. Why isn't this working? Why isn't this doing this? And they would show me like my mistakes and what I was doing wrong. So if you're going to choose a Rhinestone software, choose a software that has great support. And and I don't know anything about Silhouette Studio, so I can't comment on if they have that type of support. You know what I mean? Sure enough, there's groups. Sure enough, there's different platforms teaching, training, and helping people. But the Rhinestone world and their TRW Rhinestone Wizard software, yeah, it's phenomenal. You say so. That's what I teach. I teach and the Rhinestone Wizard, and that's it. I'm out, folks. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead and subscribe. What you got to lose? You'll learn something new. If you're a crafter, if you make shirts, you'll definitely learn something new from my channel. I try to upload videos here lately once a week, sometimes twice a week, depending on my workload. But I'm out. If you like a one-on-one training class on CorelDraw and the Rhinestone Wizard, shoot me. Do you buy your rhinestones? I buy my rhinestones in the link down below. I buy them from Heat Transfer Warehouse. The link should be on this video. I'm not sure because I went live on my phone if it populates all of that. But once I end the video, I will post links to where I get my stones. I will post a link to where you can find all the rest of the other software that does rhinestones as well. So I'm out. Look, this is my first time really going live, so I got to get better at this. I don't even know how to stop it. Here we go. Is that it? There it is. All right, now I'm out.